Welcome back to the deep dive. So we all know the carols, right? The 11th day of Christmas brings 11 pipers piping.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not just looking at a festive image today. We're going to use this as a lens to focus on some pretty profound hidden concepts.
Really good one for that.
Our mission for this deep dive is to look past the surface, the quaint idea of a pipe, and really understand this gift as a metaphor for spiritual guidance, divine rhythm, and this hidden cosmic mathematics that really underpins the whole esoteric path.
It's an absolutely essential element because with the pipes, you're introducing sound. And not just any sound, intentional sound.
Intentional sound.
Right. Sound is vibration, and vibration is, it's foundational to awakening consciousness. So when we get to the 11 pipers, we're shifting. We're moving from the realm of, say, symbolic law, the governance we saw with the leaping lords.
Right, the authority figures.
Exactly. And we're moving directly into the realm of spiritual coordination. It's all about the hidden architecture of the universe, sort of unfolding for the initiate like a piece of music.
Okay, let's unpack that. If the 10 leaping lords symbolized command, law, authority, governance from above, the pipers are doing something fundamentally different. They aren't barking orders or enforcing rules.
Oh, no.
They're creating rhythm, melody. They're summoning people.
Yeah.
They're calling them to action, drawing them into a shared movement. It's guidance through influence, not force.
That is the key distinction. The piper is this historical and mystical archetype, the leader who walks ahead but guides not by command, but by the irresistible quality of the sound they make.
It's a much more subtle form of leadership.
It is. It bypasses the rational mind and moves the spirit directly.
So why is sound a more powerful tool for spiritual guidance than, say, language or a decree?
Well, because sound creates resonance, a verbal command that invites debate. Right?
Yeah, you can argue with it.
You can argue with it. Music just compels movement. If you look at the archetypes, the figure of the piper is always liminal, always transformative. You mentioned the Pied Piper of Hamelin.
Right.
And while that's often seen as this dark cautionary tale, what it fundamentally shows is the power of music to draw entire communities, bypassing all their rational defenses and leading them somewhere else.
Into an unseen realm.
Exactly. So in our context, the piper becomes the initiator, the figure who uses the music of ritual to call the candidate out of the profane, chaotic world and into the sacred, harmonious order of the lodge.
And if the piper is the guide, then the initiation itself has to be structured like a performance, like a sacred piece of choreography.
Absolutely. The ritual begins with the worshipful master, who opens the lodge using very specific timed words and gestures. It's a rhythmic sequence.
Like the opening bars of a song.
Precisely, like the first perfectly weighted bars of a complex composition. The ritual is a sacred score, orchestrated not just by the officers and mentors, but by timing and cadence itself.
And we see that choreography most vividly in the movements of the guides, don't we? The actual people leading the candidate.
We do. The deacons, for instance, they are the principal moving pipers in the ceremony. They guide the candidate in these precise symbolic patterns.
Circular, square.
Circular for the eternal, square for morality and the material earth, and triangular movements for the balance of mind, body, and spirit. These are not random walks. They follow a highly structured, deliberate score. The 11 pipers symbolize this entire orchestration where rhythm communicates truth far beyond any spoken words.
So if the pipers are all about rhythm, how far can we push this metaphor? Is this just a nice allegory, or is there a real underlying geometry connecting music, rhythm, and moral instruction?
Oh, it runs right through the core architecture of the craft. And to understand the geometry of the ritual, we have to look at the number guiding it. We have to look at why it's not 10 or 12, but specifically 11.
This is where it gets really interesting for me. Analyzing the number 11 itself, it's powerful precisely because it sits on a threshold. It's a liminal number. It sort of breaks the pattern.
It occupies a crucial, sometimes unsettling space in numerology. 10 is the decade, right? It's completion, law, perfect, contained order. Everything is accounted for.
All neat and tidy.
Exactly. And 12 represents cosmic harmony and divine structure. The zodiac, the months, the New Jerusalem, it's the ideal. But 11 sits outside both of those complete systems. It's the number of breakthrough, of transition.
It sounds less like a stable number and more like A portal.
That is precisely it. In many systems, 11 is the number of the master builder. It represents a portal to higher intuition, to spiritual insight, because you have to go past simple completion past 10 to get ready for the cosmic whole of 12.
You have to step out of the established system to reach a higher one.
You do. And this pattern, it holds true across so many esoteric traditions.
How so?
Well, think about the tarot. The 11th card, depending on the deck, is justice or strength. Both demand moral equilibrium, immense inner power, really, to handle that threshold moment. It's a place of reckoning. Or, even more profoundly, in Kabbalah, 11 relates to the veil, specifically the Sephira of Paraketh. This is the thin membrane separating the visible forms of creation from the supernal Sephiroth, the divine, pure essence.
Wait, let's pause on that. The veil. For someone learning this, what does passing through that veil actually mean in practice?
It means moving from knowing about divinity to experiencing it. You move from the world of form, measurement, known structures, all the previous gifts, into a realm where only faith and intuition can guide you.
So the veil is the test.
The test of the aspirant who has to trust the sound of the piper even when they can't see the path anymore.
So for the person on the path, 11 marks that moment where they shift from knowledge to wisdom, from the material to the intuitive.
It is the last conscious step, guided entirely by rhythm and sound, right before you achieve that cosmic alignment, the moment just before you enter the perfect 12th gate. The 11 Pipers' music isn't just festive noise, it's a specific, intricate rhythm designed to align the initiate's soul with that divine order.
Which brings us back to the pipes. We need to talk about music not as entertainment, but as math in motion. What's fascinating here is how the ancients, Pythagoras in particular, viewed music as the scientific expression of cosmic structure.
We're moving into the quadrivium here. Pythagoras and his followers, they weren't just listening to melodies, they were searching for the mathematical laws behind them. And what they discovered was profound.
Which was?
That harmonious musical intervals, the very building blocks of music, could be expressed through simple whole number ratios.
Can you give us an example of how that works?
Sure. The perfect octave, which sounds so consonant to our ears, is a simple 2.1 ratio. The perfect fifth, another foundational sound, is a 3.2 ratio. They realized that the beauty and harmony we hear is rooted entirely in simple, elegant, mathematical proportion.
And that realization must have been, earth-shattering. It elevates music from art into scientific proof of cosmic order.
Absolutely. It meant the universe was fundamentally rational and structured, and that led directly to the doctrine of the harmony of the spheres, the belief that celestial bodies in their movements maintain these perfect mathematically derived distances from each other.
And they emit a kind of music.
A constant, inaudible, but mathematically flawless music. It implies the universe is just one gigantic, silent, beautiful symphony.
If the universe is a perfect silent symphony, why do we humans experience so much chaos and discord? Is initiation just about learning to hear the music, or do we have to participate in creating it?
That is the essential question. The human condition, the state of the rough ashlar, is discord. We are out of tune with that cosmic music. And Freemasonry directly integrates this Pythagorean understanding in the fellowcraft degree. It presents music as one of the 7 liberal arts and sciences, and it's taught not for pleasure, but as a practical method for understanding divine proportion and how to apply those ratios to achieve moral harmony in your own life.
So the 11 pipers aren't just cosmic musicians. They're demonstrating the principle that if you align your actions to divine mathematics, harmony is the result.
Precisely. And this geometric discipline, it extends to the lodge architecture itself. Think of the perfect square, the golden ratio. The same mathematical proportions that create a perfect fifth in music are used to design sacred buildings.
Geometry is frozen music, and music is fluid geometry.
You've got it. The pipers are teaching us that.
And this emphasis on rhythm and proportion, it goes right into the ritual itself. The precision required, the exact steps, the specific words, the pauses, it's all about creating a steady tempo that resonates with those cosmic proportions, right?
Yes. The ritual rhythm is highly intentional. It synchronizes the body, mind, and spirit of everyone there. The repetition of phrases, the measured processions, the silence punctuated by specific actions. It's all designed to move the initiate's consciousness beyond the mundane.
The master as conductor.
Yes, ensuring the tempo is just right, slowing down for reflection, quickening for action. It's not a lecture you just hear, it's a living, rhythmic experience you have to feel and internalize.
So what does this all mean for the person going through it? If the path is a structured song, it sounds like the goal is for the individual to become, literally, tuned.
That tuning process is the definition of initiation. Plato believed the soul is like a musical instrument. When it's disordered, when we're governed by passion or ignorance, the instrument is out of tune. It produces noise and misery.
But the whole point of the craft is to bring it into harmony.
To bring that instrument into harmony with the body, the community, the cosmos, allowing it to resonate with the divine pitch.
And the initiate steps in as the rough ashlar, the raw, untuned stone. They are the discordant element in the symphony.
Correct. They're discordant because their actions lack proportion. The entire process, using the working tools for precision, the lectures to establish clear notes, the degrees to manage tempo, is a progressive tuning process.
The 11 pipers symbolize those moral melodies.
Yes. Each note a virtue, each measure a lesson, all designed to reorient the initiate's mind and heart toward wisdom. To hear the music of the pipers is to begin hearing the subtle harmony of the great architect.
Let's connect this to the practical reality in the lodge, where we find a direct numerical parallel to the 11 pipers, the coordination of the core officers.
Absolutely. The functionality of a lodge, its ability to summon light and perform the ritual correctly, relies upon the perfect synchronization of 11 core officers. They act as the living orchestra.
Each one is a piper.
Symbolically, yes, each playing a distinct and crucial part in that ritual score.
So if the lodge is a symphony, let's break down some of the instruments. When we name the 11 officers, how do their specific roles create that musical coordination?
We can group them musically. You have the worshipful master, senior warden, and junior warden. They are the core melody and tempo. The master sets the pace, the tone,
The conduct.
while the wardens ensure that melody is maintained in the west and south, overseeing the craft at work. If the master is slow or rushed, the whole piece suffers. Then you have the senior and junior deacons. They are the embodiment of rhythm and movement. They physically guide the flow of the ritual, ensuring every step, every pause is exactly right.
They're embodying the piping movement itself.
They are. If the deacons are out of rhythm, the ritual immediately breaks down. It becomes chaotic movement instead of a sacred dance.
Okay, what about the administrative roles? How do they fit in musically?
Well, the secretary is the scorekeeper, the historian, making sure every record is precise. The treasurer manages the resources, maintaining the steady base note of financial stability.
I like that.
Then you have the stewards, who function as the logistical accompaniment, ensuring everything is ready so the performance can happen seamlessly.
And the last two.
And finally, the tiler and the chaplain maintain the inner and outer tuning. The tiler guards the outer threshold, that's the first note of security, and the chaplain provides the spiritual resonance, reminding everyone of the higher purpose of the music being played.
That dynamic interplay is fascinating. If the deacons are off, the rhythm fails. If the master rushes, the tempo is ruined. So if one of those 11 officers is functionally out of tune, what's the consequence?
The consequence is immediate and profound. The light dims. If one officer fails to execute their part with precision, the ritual transitions from a transformative spiritual experience into just a tedious mechanical meeting. The energy scatters.
But when they're all in sync,
When those 11 officers are properly attuned, operating in perfect unity, the lodge becomes a living symphony of truth, where the light is summoned with maximum efficiency. The performance itself shapes the atmosphere of the sacred space.
so to bring this all together for you listening, we've gone from a simple holiday carol image, a quaint picture of pipers, to a really powerful metaphor for spiritual discipline, for mathematics, architecture, and cosmic alignment, all centered on rhythm and proportion.
The profound depth of the 11 Pipers' piping is that they give us a call to reflection, not just on ritual, but on our daily lives. They ask you, are you attuned to the music of the path you follow, whatever that path is?
Do you move in harmony with its rhythm, or are you consistently marching to a discordant, maybe a selfish beat?
And when you step out into the world, are you just making noise? Or are you piping truth and harmony to others? Are you a melody of moral example that uplifts and inspires those around you?
That's a powerful question.
The spiritual path is anything but silent. It is filled with symbolic, mathematical, and spiritual music. The ultimate goal of this journey, as symbolized by these 11 pipers guiding you right up to that 12th gate of perfection, is for the teachings of your philosophy to become your sacred tuning fork, your score.
And if you can internalize that music,
If you can, then your life itself will become a song of profound harmony, the very harmony required to build the temple within.